Welcome everyone to another episode of Talent You Should Know, where we focus on the entertainment industry on a different level. Not only will there be artist and actor interviews of known and unknown talent, but insight into the team behind them that helps them build their brand. Each week, we'll tackle a different person in the industry with talents in their own rights. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome everyone to another episode of Talent You Should Know with Zag. Today I am super excited. We have singer KL.Z in the house. How are you?
Yes, we do. I'm doing amazing.
Yeah, I'm really glad to have you on. I am I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Instagram like for business, but I also, I like to find new talent, new people. And I came across your page. I was like, wait, what? I was like, who's this? And I really wanted you on my show because I think that you're so, so dope. So, can you tell everyone like how you started?
Yes. So I started off writing poetry.
Okay.
I was writing poetry and I was writing poems. And then I started making music by accident. Like, I've always liked to sing, but I never necessarily wanted to record myself and put it out there. But I remember one time I made this song called Hawaii. This was before like I really wanted to pursue singing and songwriting. Yeah. But after I made that song Hawaii, like I really fell in love with the song because like I put a piece of myself in it, right? So I was being like real, I was being kind of vulnerable, I was being authentic. And ever since I made that song, I really just fell in love with making music and the whole process. Yeah. And I've never wanted to stop. Yeah.
That's dope. Do I hear an accent?
Do you?
Well, you know what? We're not doing this today.
That's quick.
Okay. Talk to me about it.
Yeah. I mean, originally I'm from Haiti. So I'm Haitian. Okay. I am a Haitian American. So that's people typically don't pick up on the accent, but you got a good ear. I'm
like eerily observant. It's like one of those superpowers, like some people can like twist their arm all the way back. I'm like, I'll notice someone who has on like new socks. It's okay. Very, very strange. Let's
It's a superpower.
So can we just talk a little bit about your partnership? Because I know you work with, there's someone who plays the guitar, Acoustic, right? Who is that?
That is my producer, my musical brother, Wilson Malik.
Okay. How long have you been working together with him?
We were working together for 2 years, 2 years now.
You know what's surprising about that? You two are so in sync. And I think that, and I'll talk about this later, what I appreciate is that neither of you overpower each other, right? So just going back to kind of how you started and everything, how would you describe like your music? Did you start off intentionally in a particular genre, or talk about that?
Yeah, so a little bit before I made Hawaii, the song that made me continue to want to make music and stuff, I started off rapping. So I thought I was gonna be like the Migos for some reason. But it was literally the worst music you could ever possibly make. I was making it. Okay. And after I got tired of rapping and just making horrendous music that nobody wanted to hear. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Let me make the music that like I like to listen to. So then I went to like the R&B type thing, and I was struggling to make the music I wanted to because I didn't have a producer. Yeah. So like I was just buying these like prepackaged beats that like I couldn't do what I wanted to. And then I met Wilson by accident. He came to this show that I was performing in, and during the show there was like huge technical difficulties. So like I'm feeling embarrassed. Like my mic going like on and off.
I've been there. Yeah.
And then I get off the show and Wilson was like, "Bro, you did amazing." I was like, "All right, okay, this guy, he should have, console me after my my horrible performance." And then he follows me on IG. I follow him back on IG. Then he plays this beat, Family. And I was like, I need this beat. And, and he was just starting to be a producer too. So like it was like we were both in our musical infancy.
Okay.
Sort of talk. And ever since then I've been making music that I want to release.
Yeah.
He pushes me to be a better artist.
Yeah.
I would say I pushed him to be a better producer, but he's pretty amazing. I don't know if I really.
Like even the acoustic guitar, I'm like a little biased. Like that's my favorite
Same.
sound. And one of the things that I noted is that like your music is like super subtle, but it's super intricate. You know what I mean? And so it's not like it's not too full, right? What was that intentional to kind of keep it bare like that?
A lot of times it is simply because like the greatest songs that like I remember or I love or I sing along to, they weren't like these overly produced songs that I feel to some extent like obnoxiously like loud. There's like 1,000 things going on at the same time. So like what me and Wilson believe like our like philosophy is like if you make the right song or like if you care about just making the best song, two things that seem kind of not complete, when you put them together, the two halves, are greater than the whole, if that makes sense.
Okay. No, yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you write all of your own lyrics?
For the song One Way to Hell, I wrote the entirety of the lyrics for One Way to Hell.
Okay.
But me and Wilson, I don't mind collaborating with Wilson on some of the lyrics. I'm not, obsessed with writing by myself. So,
yeah.
But that's the team, just me and Wilson.
Yeah. I want to get into your music, and I'm going to start with the most recent one, Talk of the Town, which I thought was dope. And it was also on like Sway in the Morning. So that was were you like geeked out when that happened or?
Yeah, it was, I think it was like, we were like on a high for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Just like not really accepting. Like it was, I don't know, like we didn't really like, it happened and then like 30 minutes later we realized it happened, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was like a delayed reaction.
Yeah. I like the fact that you kind of mixed the music. It was kind of like the classic sound, and then you went a little bit more like hip hop, like electronic in it. And so what was the intention behind that? Was it just to bring a new sound to what you usually done, or was this a recommendation from who you collab with?
So for that song, for Talk of the Town, I think we were going like, we're inspired by other artists, obviously the ones that, inspire us to make music and such. And for that song specifically, we were just trying to capture, like the John Mayer type songs, or but make them new, make them fresh, make them modern, So it was like bringing the old with the new.
Got it.
And you bring those two things together, and we mix the genres a little bit with a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of R&B, and the classical. We kind of mix those two together. But those are the three influences that got us there.
I think what's kind of cool, as I said, I could definitely hear you collabing with like Sting or Phil Collins.
Absolutely.
Like that kind of vibe, because it's just so, like, their music is so powerful. And I think that, you can fall right along in the line with that.
Thank you.
Red Wine was my ship. Like, that is my song.
Mhm.
And I love the line that said, I bought a little red wine, the younger me would have passed on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's kind of like, growing up. And did
Mhm.
you write that one? Or
No, I did write that one. So with Red Wine, we collaborated with the artist from LA called Roland,
Mhm.
who's the rapper. I just put a couple courses on there,
Yeah.
and Roland's also on Talk of the Town. But what happened with Roland is some person keeps interrupting me. But what happened with Roland
Mhm.
was I played a song "One Way to Hell." He loved the song. I listened to about his songs. We both just we both like each other as artists.
Mhm.
He reached out for me to lay down vocals for Red Wine, and I gave him a chorus. But we really collaborated mainly like fully, I would say, on Talk the Town.
Yeah.
Red Wine was like a song he already completed,
Got
but
it.
then he didn't like his chorus, so he took his chorus out, and I gave him a little something.
There was another one. You mentioned it, One Way to Hell. And
Hmm.
I said that had such a Maroon 5 kind of like vibe to it, but it was also so you,
Hmm.
you know? I like how I like it when music kind of evokes an emotion that like you're kind of like, man, I know that sound, but this sounds so different and new. Like it's like when you refurbish a couch. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
You
know what you
you
mean.
it's just yeah. So I appreciate the fact that you haven't the ear enough to say, okay, this is always going to be a classic, but how do I update this, right?
Hmm.
And also, like, what I find interesting is that even your upbeat, like up tempo work is super laid
Hmm.
back,
Yeah, a little bit.
you know?
Hmm.
So, talk about your 2019 EP and like that's The Falls, is that what it was?
The Falls,
Yeah.
correct. So 2019, I released an EP, a 4-song EP called The Falls, and
Mhm.
in that EP, it's really talking about mainly just heartbreak or and relationships in general. And the EP starts off with the leading track, which is Amen,
Mhm.
which is just it's a track that it's about love. When you're
Yeah.
so in love with someone that you feel like it's God sent or heaven sent, and it's bliss. And then
Yeah.
the following 3 songs are you falling out of love.
Yeah.
Um, Human deals with just human nature and how possibly the reason why love doesn't last the way we want it to last is because we
Mhm.
are only human. We do make mistakes. We're
Yeah.
not perfect beings, and even though I do 100% believe that as people we are deserving of love,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
do believe that because we are human beings and we're not perfect, you know, the question can arise. Are people deserving of love if you're not perfect? If
Mhm.
this and that, and it tackles that aspect.
Right.
And then Novocaine is just it's a very visual element song.
Yeah.
Alone in the cockpit, because you're falling out of love. So I put the listener in a plane. I put them high in the sky, and then
Yeah.
I say now we fall. And then Novocaine's a little rap esque song
Mhm.
that I wrote, and which is the last song in the EP, which really is just when you fall out of love, but then
Yeah.
there's also the possibility that now that you guys are out of love, maybe you saw that the person wasn't good for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you're happier now. Maybe
Yeah.
so those are the elements that I try to capture in that
Yeah.
EP.
And then it was Neverland was on there.
Promise Neverland. Promise
Money
Neverland.
is
Yeah.
my only fetish.
Look at that. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
You know the lyrics. Okay. All right.
listen, I do these things. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm not okay. That's kind of cool. Okay.
Going back to what you said, it's interesting, when we talk about love, because I was actually talking about that last night with someone, and
Mhm.
when you talk about being deserving of love, it's one of those things where love is such a selfless act as well. So,
Mhm.
so it's one of those things like whether we deserve it or not, someone is going to give it to us, right?
True. True.
And
Hopefully.
hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I also like your growth from 2 years ago. Like I listened to some of your SoundCloud stuff, and then
Oh,
I
you.
went back. Sir, I went back. Heist is dope.
Okay. Those
Heist
are
is
the.
my, that was,
Okay. Okay. I like that though. I like that. Okay.
yeah. Because I listened to Left Foot Heroes, right?
Hmm.
And then I went up to like your most recent stuff and I said, look at that. Because I think that's back when you were choosing tracks
Hmm.
versus working with a producer. And like you can tell the difference, right?
Hmm.
And so are you thinking about doing another EP now? Like what's going on?
Oh, we have a huge EP we're working on. Yeah, it's a 7-song EP,
Wow.
but I mean, I think our best work is on that EP. We have a song that we're teasing, Holy Water, that we're gonna release on the EP.
Okay.
It's gonna have full production. Right now, we're just doing a couple of acoustic sets on IG. And we've
Mm-hmm.
done a little promotion for it. But Holy Water is probably maybe our best song. We have a song, The River, on there that
Okay.
I mean that's gotten us a lot of. I mean, the EP's gonna be amazing. We also have 2 huge features on the
Mm-hmm.
EP. One of the artists just he was on Justin Bieber's new project.
Okay.
He was on both the project and Justin Bieber's EP, which is kind of big.
That's cool.
And our other feature on the EP, I think it's about to release a song with Little Baby, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's,
it's interesting. Like you see the growth and you see it's like steady. And what's interesting is, you know, um, when it's organic like that, that it's authentic as well. Like these are true fans and people who, believe in you.
yeah, it's crazy.
So what do you want? Like, what do you want for the future? Do you want to stay indie? Do you want to get on a major label? Like, what's happening?
I mean, I think we've always been amongst the mindset that if something makes sense, it makes sense.
Okay.
So we're willing to go with the label if a label
Mm-hmm.
gives us a deal that we believe makes sense. But we're hoping to stay independent.
Got it.
But we're willing to go with the label. If the deal is right, if the deal is
Mm-hmm.
correct, we'll do that. But hopefully we hope to stay independent, keep our masters, keep our publishing,
Yeah.
keep everything.
Yeah.
Especially creative control.
And that's such a huge thing because there's an artist, and I won't mention her name, and
Mhm.
she came out and she was absolutely amazing. Like, she had such a unique sound, and she took you somewhere when she sang, right?
Mhm.
Her second album, I was like, who's this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they get their image done,
Mhm.
and then the songs, and and I'm like, I think the beauty of being independent is that you get to keep more of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I've been fortunate enough to where like I've heard A&Rs talk. Like, some A&Rs, VPs have reached out to talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I'm no longer like like at first there was a point where like they would say something, I'd be like, oh, you're right, maybe I should change this part of the song that I
Yeah.
really like to whatever you want to do that I don't think is really that interesting or cool. But I mean, after a while, I think after you see some of the music that they've released, I think that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
because we're students of the game, so like you see an A&R, see what their artists are releasing, you're like, this isn't the level of artistry that I want to present myself at.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely though. Creative control is super important for us.
Yeah. So if you could talk to yourself, right?
Hmm.
in the future? And you know how a lot of people say if you could talk to yourself
In
in
the
the past,
past.
right?
Yeah.
If you could talk to yourself, let's say 5 years from now, right?
Mhm.
Or predict where you're going to be, what would you say and where would you be?
Wow, if I could talk to my future self.
Boop, boop.
That is a good question. Oh my God. Okay, if I could talk to my future self, I'd probably ask him for like what
If
kind
you
of
could
like
hold
wisdom.
$5,
Maybe it may be asking for some money. But my future self.
because the thing is, and the reason why I asked that question, I'll talk to you about that, is I was having a conversation. I had an interview yesterday and we were talking about manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about and I made a little joke about it today on IG, like Netflix gave me 43 cents back for like overpaying. And I said, look at Netflix paying me already. But I'm really serious about that. Like Netflix will start to pay me. And it's like, if I'm talking to my future self, I'm saying, you know, thank you for not giving up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or
oh, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
Things like that. So just think about it. I mean, you don't like, I know I kind of caught you off guard about it, but think about it. Like, what are you saying to your future self that you are going to manifest, right?
That's a good question. But yeah, definitely. I think sometimes when I look at where I am now and seeing like all the opportunities I had in the past to quit.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I am like, I look at myself now and I thank myself for not quitting, because the road here was like not beautiful. It wasn't a beautiful road. But now that I am kind of here, like I'm really happy that I didn't give up when times got tough in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely talk to my future self. I'd probably ask him just, what life experiences he can, give me. Try to,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. Think about it.
Good question though.
Yeah.
That is the most unique and also kind of the most difficult, but the most interesting question I've gotten in like a very long time.
Well, I feel good now.
I typically can answer questions. Like I give you a bad answer, but I typically have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, yeah, that was a good question.
Thanks. Well, I want to thank you for being on my show, and I say that because, time is always, we say this, time is something you can't get back, right?
True, absolutely.
And I feel like, because this is just the beginning for you, I am just going to keep following and see where you go, and hoping that, 5 years from now,
Okay.
in your future self, maybe we can sit down and kind of reflect on this,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want you to tell people where they can find you and, spell it out for them if you need to.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. If you guys want to follow me or check out some of the music we're releasing, you can follow me on Instagram at KL.Z.Music. So that's KL.Z.Music. On YouTube, it's just KL.Z and so forth. And KL.Z on basically every platform. But yeah, definitely, if you ever want to reach out, I'm typically available for the time being. Yeah, happy to be here though. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Talent You Should Know. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well as leave a review. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.